there's always like an element of like, will it work out? This is how I want to be able to sell my wrapping paper. I have these sleeves that aren't plastic, but they look like plastic. So there's some eco packaging that I've found. Hey friend, I'm back in the same location. This is actually my studio and this is my computer desk. I've got all my art things over there. But yeah, welcome back. And if you're new, welcome. My name is Jeff. I'm an artist, illustrator, and maker, and I've been working full-time for myself as an artist, coming up to 10 years this November, 2026, if you're watching this at a later date. This video is kind of like the companion to the one that I dropped not long ago. This is kind of like the part 2. In that first video, I did the reveal of a whole bunch of new products, like wrapping papers and cards that I had been working on and got delivered and am really happy with. And so in this video, I wanted to take you through the next part of the process, which is working out all the packaging, how I'm going to have them displayed for when I do markets and when I ship them online. I also decided to get a few more products made because I had a little bit of extra cash, and I found out that I am going to be a part of the Brisbane Illustration Fair, which is happening in just over a month as I'm recording it now. So it will be obviously a lot sooner when you see this video. And because I'm doing this illustration fair, I decided let's try and get a few new stickers into the mix as well. And the final part of the video is going to be taking you through my new market stall setup. I haven't done this illustration fair before, and this one is a little bit different because it is just my illustration work, not my other cardboard design work as well. I'll see you on the other side. Enjoy. And maybe let me know which of the stickers is your favorite too. I have my favorite, but I haven't seen them yet. So maybe when they arrive, I might change. But for now, in my head, I have my favorite and I'm really keen to see what they look like. Okay, so we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks out from the Brisbane Illustration Fair. I'm buying an archival printer. It's been something that I've been wanting to buy for quite a while, so I can do all of my prints myself. It's just been a very big investment piece that I've had to just slowly settle on the idea of spending that much money on a printer, and also getting enough work in so then I can afford to pay for this printer. So it's quite a lot, especially once you get like ink as well. So I'm buying the printer next week. I've got my cards and my wrapping paper printed. I've just got to like assemble the packaging and all that kind of stuff. And now I am looking at stickers. I have been making stickers for quite a while. I have a whole bunch of different ones. I think the wrestling belt Queer Champion is my favorite. But like my original 3, like these ones, as well as this design, they're very old. And like I designed these probably back in like 2000. My style has evolved. I still love them, but I need some new ones. The wrestling belt and the Belly Babe holographic one are my 2 most recent ones that I did maybe like 2 years ago, but like I want to get some fresh ones for this market and just like get back into the swing of building up my stickers, and even looking into the sticker sheets as well, which I have just done a sticker sheet for a exhibition, and I'll probably put that through in another blog or something. But yeah, so I'm looking at stickers. I'm going through Stickeroo, which is an Australian company. And yesterday I just had to sit down and work out what are the different sizes and get a plan of attack. I'm someone who needs to see things visually in order to understand like a project. And so for this market, I have been using this illustrated document, which I'm just going to open now. So I use this document to just make sure I can like look at everything in one picture and make sure that everything looks good together, that I'm not missing anything. It's just like a visual checklist. So yesterday I went through my stickers and decided on 3 new ones that I'm going to get printed. So I'm going to do one that is here and queer, and I'm thinking of doing that as like a text holographic kind of one. Then I've got one of my illustrations, which is mental health walk. And I'm also pulling a design from a project I did a few years ago for a pub, where I did this Mardi Gras design of essentially these like flower people in space. And I really love these characters, and I decided why not pull one of those out. So I will, for the market, I will have 8 sticker designs, and I'm realizing that a lot of them are flowers, which, I mean, that is my art. Like, that is the thing that I draw the most. But I'm trying to get to a point where my catalogue of stickers are a little bit more broad than just flowers. I'll get there eventually. It just is what it is. So today I'm going to finalize the designs for all 3 stickers, hopefully, fingers crossed. So this is the first one, my space flower. Pretty happy with it. I just changed the little charms to being just stars and simplifying it. And then added my little signature. And I think the blue background just helps it to pop a whole bunch more. And like blue and orange always works good together. So that is the first one. So this is the second design that I'm going to turn into a sticker. I drew this last year, and I had been playing around with like the different ways I could turn it into something if I wanted to turn it into something. I really loved the character design, but yeah, the fact it just like floated in space, I didn't really know what to do with it. I was playing around with different background colors. Background colors are something that I always struggle with, like not knowing whether I should make it all like harmonious with the same color palette or choose something that's really contrasting that brings it out. I'd like to think that I have a pretty good judgment on color, and I tend to know how I feel about things when I see it. I'm a button pusher. I need to like see it in order to know if I like it or not. And yeah, I play with a lot of different ways of creating a world that maybe this character existed within, playing around with this cloud design, maybe doing a pattern behind it. I think I played with some gradients as well, if it comes up. Yeah, I played around with like adding more textures and character and more textures and some patterns, and it was all just like a little bit overwhelming. I added shadow, so it was like planted on the ground. What else did I try? Let me take that away. Maybe I'll take that one away. Like, I don't know, it all could look good, but I just wasn't sure, so I just left it. I think I prefer it as more flat. So when it came to stickers, I was like, well, maybe this could be a really good sticker. So I added a nice little offset around it. And I think this is like the right way for me to turn it into something for now. I guess it's just like a really nice reminder that when I create things, it doesn't have to result in a finished piece straight away. And an artwork might be something that I revisit down the line. And I really try not to like push something into existence. Was really struggling again to pick the background color. There was like blue, there was a red one, like the original drawing. I wanted to keep it pastel-y and soft to go along with the drawing, and I decided to go with this green one. Now, when I look at so far all the sticker designs, they're all the ones, and this is what I mean about wanting to see them all together and seeing what like gaps I'm filling. And this last one, this here and queer design, this is the beginnings of it that I'm going to turn into the holographic sticker. So that one's next. And this was the beginnings of my third sticker, here and queer. I really took it away from that yellow and orangey version. I wanted to move it into a really graphic vector kind of design that was a little bit more simple. Because I was doing the metallic behind it, I wanted that to sort of be like the rainbow. I wasn't going to do an actual rainbow in it, but you know, it turned out. that I did. So this was the original concept, and then they told me that these white outlines and black outlines, it was all just a little bit too fine, and the white you wouldn't really see. So I had to rework it, and essentially I just took all the white out completely and turned it into black. And if I put the masking layer behind it like that, that's what it's going to look like. So I took out all the little cloud, little curvy bits because it was just like extra noise. I'm such a maximalist. I don't need it in there. I can always edit things down. And it'll have this black outline that's really nice. And essentially wherever the graphic, I just like got a holographic texture and laid that in so I could just see what it looks like as a sticker as you're like moving it around. And yeah, just simplified everything completely. And I think it's going to look really good. This one I'm nervous about just because it's holographic. There's always like an element of like, will it work out? I did this while I was away at my parents' house when I was visiting for my brother's birthday. So I didn't really record anything. But yeah, this is number 3. Got them all done. So for my wrapping paper, I want everything to be rolled up. Okay. This is how I want to be able to sell my wrapping paper in bundles. So I want to sell them either as individual sheets, as packs of 3, 6, and 10. And you get to choose which designs out of the full range that you want. So you'll just like pick the ones you want, and I'll just like bundle them up and roll them up and give them to you like this. And then online for sales, I'll put them in a tube and send them off like this as well. It'll be annoying if people buy wrapping paper and other things at the same time, because if I have to put this in the tube and then also send to something else that's in a box, then that's going to be twice the shipping, and it's something that I just don't want to think about right now. I just want to get the packaging done. I've got obviously the name of it, and then I've put on it my details, my website and Instagram, and then I'm trying to put waste management kind of details on like how you can dispose of the rubbish, whether it's like recycling, if it's hard rubbish, if it's compostable, that kind of stuff, and just give the information of that on this to try and be as sustainable as possible and make it really clear. There is quite a lot of gaps, like blank space around it, but I think that's fine. And when it sits, you see the name properly. When I display it, it's probably going to be like displayed in like a bucket of them, maybe. I don't know. I guess if people are going to be picking the designs, if they can't be in buckets. So yeah, I don't know. I'll have to work that one out. Anyways, so this I think is pretty much locked in. And then for my cards, each one comes with an envelope, and I think I'm just going to do it like nothing crazy special with this as is, and then I'm just going to use brown paper, like lunch bags, as the way to package them all up. Everything else is pretty stock standard for those, which is good. And then my prints. So I'm going to be selling A5 prints and also A4 prints. No, A3 prints as well. At the moment, the printer that I have isn't archival. It's one of the EcoTank ones. And whilst it prints great, and I do love it as a printer, I really do. I want to invest in a archival printer because I want to be able to print my own prints and only do sort of like runs when I need them. And I've been doing a lot of research into it, and there's a lot of risk because I don't really print heaps all the time, and I know you should be really keeping the printer going and printing regularly so it doesn't have to do a lot of, basically the printers take a lot of ink to do cleaning, and if you have long periods of time between usage, it does like a cleaning cycle, and then you're wasting a bunch of ink all the time. And so that's maybe like the biggest thing that I'm worried about. But I think if I do sort of like 1 or 2 prints a week, instead of doing big weeks of just printing everything out and then it's done, I think it'll be fine. And I know it's kind of like, if I don't start making the prints, I can't start selling more, and so I'll never get the printer if I don't do it. So it's a little bit of like chicken and the egg, but I'm going to do it. It's kind of scary because it's a lot of money to invest in something, but I think I kind of have to do it to keep on pushing the way that I want to push with my products. I mean, the other thing is I could continue to sell my prints like this. At the moment, I put on the back of every artwork, I give really clear instructions that, you know, that says that this is printed on an eco tank and the ink is dye based on velvet paper, velvet fine art paper, and to preserve the color, just don't display it in like full sun areas. Basically, it will fade a lot quicker if you have it in full sun areas or not behind like protected glass. So like, I think that if people know that that's what they're getting, it's totally fine. I just don't want people to think that this is a archival print or will like last forever. But I think the way that I sell them, this could be like a cheaper option for people, and then my archival prints could be more expensive. But then also I could, prints are just like really tricky to work out what's the best approach. I'm finding it quite tricky, at least. I'm like 98% sure that I'm going to buy this printer. I just have to like get over the idea of spending that money. And this art fair that I'm doing is kind of the catalyst for really pushing me to want to buy it. Because I really do want to be able to sell more prints and do more works like this. And so in this one as well, I also say that this sleeve is actually biodegradable as well. The company's made out of some material that is like organic, but if I don't tell people that and give them that information on my packaging, people will presume that this is plastic and then it has to be recycled, when actually it doesn't have to at all. And that's why I really want to be able to give people really clear waste management solutions for all my products. So when they've unpacked everything, they know exactly where things can go. And it's just also forces me to be more conscious with it as well. I want to be more sustainable with everything that I do. And that is just like, I think it's like a really cool investment, is having these sleeves to protect the work, but also it's not just having a whole bunch of plastic in my practice. So yeah, all right, that was actually a lot more successful than what I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to struggle with maybe resolving this packaging for the wrapping paper, but I'm actually pretty happy with it all. Right, so I am in the studio tonight. I am trying to work out, oh my God, there's no head. And what I want to do is do a mock-up of the stall, like a table for the market, because I just want to make sure that either one, everything fits, two, if I need to buy something for the display, I've got time to do it and I won't be rushed. And three, just make sure that everything just like will work properly. And if I need to like brainstorm some ideas for new ways of displaying things, that I just have time for it. So I'm just getting everything on the table. And then I'll start to play around with where it's all positioned. Little known fact, before I went full-time as an artist, my day job was a visual merchandiser in a clothing store, like for a brand. So I would travel around to like 20 different stores and make sure they'd set up the store correctly, doing displays, working out what sold, setting up products, doing the creative, all that kind of stuff. So like, I love this part of the job. I don't get much time to do it. So when I do get the chance, yeah, I really thrive in it. I'm also super excited to finally get all of my new products together in the one spot. My wrapping paper, my cards. I just have my new printer that just got delivered and I set that up today so I can start to print my new prints. I have my new stickers arriving soon. And yeah, I'm just super excited to see what it all looks like. So this is the table to start with. I have over here my prints. I'll have A3. I'm going to make some A4 and then A5 prints. For this section, I think, unfortunately, I'm going to have to get a whole bunch more of these stands. This is one that I made for myself when I wasn't doing a bunch of prints. It's all cardboard, recycled. I would love to make them, but the thing about this event is that I have to fly and everything has to fit in my suitcase. So I kind of need to make like a travel kit that works really well for me, that I think this kind of display where you can see all the different prints in one go is the best option. So maybe I'll have like a travel kit and then I'll have one where I can like take with me. I don't know. I'll look into it, see how much time I have. But like my prints will be like that. I'll have a little display for my name. Then you move down the table and I've got my colouring books and my bunting kit, which I'm putting together tomorrow, hopefully. I'm hoping to maybe have a little display of the bunting kit so you can see what you can make. Essentially, it's like these paper flower bunting, and this is the colouring in, which is like those designs. I've got two different options of those. So it's going to be pretty simple and I don't have to do too much with that. Then I'll have my cards, which I have to work out what I'm going to do with those. I really don't want to put them in plastic. Or I have these sleeves that aren't plastic, but they look like plastic. So there's some eco packaging that I've found from a supplier and it's all compostable, non-plastic sleeves. So I could put them all in those, but I just don't like the look of plastic or people thinking that I've got everything in plastic. So, and I like people to be able to pick it up and have a closer look. So I need a way to display the cards as they are. All my stickers are going to go down here. So I have all my individual stickers stuck to this sheet like blue tack, and then people just say what they want. I will have my new sticker sheet as well, which will be great. So my little like sticker bar. And then I'm going to have my wrapping paper. So these are all my 8 designs. I just got to try and work out the best way because I have limited space and I want people to be able to like see what they are, but not have like a full, like the sheets are quite large and I don't want people to have to like rummage through to see what they're like. So I think this approach of having like one of each design like this so people can see it and pick which ones they want, and then behind the table I'll have them all like this and I'll just like get the 3 together that they want, roll them up and give them to them. I think that's going to be the best way to do it so it takes up less surface area on the table. I might make a little like flip book of the design, so if they want to see like the full design spread out, they can scroll it. I can also just show them, I guess, as well. So maybe I won't, but I do want to maybe have 1 or 2 boxes wrapped to just show people what it could look like. And another one of my signs. So at either end, some things I would love to do is have a little sign, but again, luggage is going to make it hard. So I might make like a little A3 sign Maybe I don't worry about it at all because I have these little ones and just like put something else there. Anyways, that's where I'm at the moment. I still have to think about all the price points and everything like that as well. But yeah, that's where I'm at. All right, I'm printing my very first lot of prints on my new printer. I got the Epson 900, or it might be called like the 906 in like other parts of the world. Basically, it's an archival printer, and I'm really excited to just be able to like print my own prints and really push this part of my art practice. So I'm pretty excited to be printing my first run of 4 A5 prints. It is taking quite a while. I don't know if it's the internet connection or, I mean, like, I'm doing it at the best quality and it's like a big A3 piece of paper, and I know that it's like, you know, it's printing. That's what it takes to print well. Is I understand it takes time for things to print properly, and it's not just going to like pump it out really quick. But I am just wondering if it's the internet. The Wi-Fi is quite slow here at my studio. I have my first 4 prints. So I'm using a velvet fine art paper, like an Epson paper. I've been using that on my other printer as well. I mean, like, these are technically non-archival. They're really good quality, but I wanted to move into archival fine art prints. And yeah, now just have to check the size. Been trying to work out how to make sure that I'm printing things to the right size of the file. So if I set up the document to be like A5 size, when it prints, it's A5 size. And it's not. So it's like 3 millimeters short, which is really bizarre because I set up a 1-to-1 grid. I'm going to show you what I did. I made on my computer a 1-to-1 grid and then printed it out. This didn't go right to the very edges, which is annoying. I did it on my other printer and it went right to the edges, and even that wasn't to the right scale. So this has got a border all the way around. And it might mean that I've got one setting not quite right. I typed into the printer the size of the paper exactly. I did the same thing on my computer. I made sure it was like fit to page, like no scaling. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong, but at the same time, I measured these 1-to-1 squares, and they're 1-to-1 squares. So I don't know why it doesn't line up. These are about 3 mil too small. I'll do some more testing, but in theory, very happy with this. I'm back. Last night, I left the studio at 12 o'clock, which wasn't ideal, but I did work out how to do the scaling for my prints. So I was able to make my A5 prints actual A5 size. I'll probably post a little picture here of what I did, but basically in my Illustrator document, I had a rectangle that was A5 dimensions, and then I just did slightly larger rectangles going outside of that A5 sizing. I scaled it up about 2 millimeters each time, and then I printed that out. And then I just worked out which one of those actually prints to the dimensions that I need for an A5 print. So it's probably not the most ideal way of doing it, but it worked for me. And so now I have A5 prints that are A5 size, and I've worked out a template on my computer. So now every time I want to print out anything A5, I just open up that template in Illustrator and put the artwork into that, and I know that it's going to be printed the right way. So that's really cool. Love that. I'm going to do the same thing for my A4 and A3 prints, and I think it's just like a really simple technique for someone like me who isn't great at computer things. Like, I mean, I'm good, but I'm not like amazing at like clicking through settings and making profiles and things like that. So yeah, I'm going to do the same for my A4 and A3 prints. And then today, my plan is to printout, you would have just heard my printer. I went to Officeworks and got a whole bunch of paper. I'm going to be printing out my colouring books and also my bunting kits and get them all printed and stapled up. I'm also wanting to get my wrapping paper and my cards and my sticker packaging printed out and sorted. And at the same time, I'm going to be printing all of my fine art prints as well, now that I have two printers, which is cool. I don't know if I should be like not printing at the same time, like if it's going to use more like bandwidth on my computer. I also found it funny last night, the printer was saying it would take 8 minutes to print the A3 bit of paper, but it was taking like 25 minutes. But as soon as I like went close and like really close and put my head over the printer and looked as it was printing, it just printed continuously and like didn't stop or load at all. And so I just like hovered, like crouched over the printer for like 2 minutes and it printed the whole time. So I don't know if I became the internet antenna for the printer. I don't know, like, is that possible? But I'm going to do it again today and see what happens. And if it means me sitting close to the printer while it prints, I'm going to do it, because if it takes 8 minutes to print versus the 25 minutes to print, I'm going to do it. So it's a pretty full day. I'm not doing any client work. I am just doing this market prep, which feels really nice. It feels really like nourishing for myself to do like a day of making in the studio. And I'll probably just do a whole bunch of B-roll to show you. I'll talk to you soon. Exciting news, my stickers arrived. Okay, I'm nervous. Okay, I'm not gonna look at them. Ooh. The color is really nice. I like how bright it is. And even though it's a pixel drawing, it is still really crisp, which is great. I can still see the texture, which is good. Anyways, like that one. Mental health walk done. Ooh. That's a reflection. Oh my god. Okay, I love the holographic. The black is definitely more subtle, and I think I'm good with that. I think I'm just getting used to it having so much black in it. This one has little like jots taken out of them, as if like the cutter has like skipped a little bit. Yeah. Okay, I might have to follow up with the printers. I probably won't be able to see up the top. And on the side. That's annoying. Okay, we'll have to follow up on that one. My space flower. Okay, I really like this one. I think this one might be my favorite. The blue's really nice, the color's really good. It's not pixelated. The outside is really nice. Like the die cut line is really smooth, and I'm happy. So that's 3 done. Now I just have to add them to the market stall. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it here. I thought this was gonna be a little 2-parter video, but I think it's gonna turn into a bit of a series, and I might make a bit of a playlist because there's still a lot more that I wanna share with you. And there's still 3 weeks before the fair. And I also want to share what it's like doing the illustration fair as well. So yeah, I think this is going to become a series. Hopefully you really liked the video. Feel free to say hello in the comment section below, ask any questions. Find me on Instagram if you want to connect that way. I'm on there quite a lot in the DMs talking to people, so do that too. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.